Alright, hello everybody. So welcome to your first lesson. We're going to be installing Metasploitable in a Docker on our Kali image here. So the very first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we don't have any other Docker images that are currently running. That's going to mess with the Metasploitable one. So to do that, we go ahead and type in sudo docker images, or you can just sudo su to be able to, because we're going to be doing a lot of sudos here. So we don't have any Docker images on here. That's good news for us, right? Next thing we're going to do is we are going to pull the Metasploitable2 Docker image. So we have our Docker pull, and that's going to be TLEEM CJR Metasploitable2. And this is going to take a minute. So once this is done, I'll be right back with you all. All right, and we're back. So as we can see, we now have a new Docker image, and we have our Metasploitable2 here. Next thing we want to do is we want to create a network, a Docker network. By default, we will actually get a Docker network. This one isn't point up Docker 0 just yet because we haven't started the image yet. We can go ahead and create our own network just to give that training in there. So we have our sudo docker network, create, and then a name such as in pentest or whatever else. Go ahead and enter here, and it'll go ahead and it'll give you a bunch of strings back, and we can see that we have created a network now. So we have 172.19.0.1, but we're at 255.255.0.0, so we're in a class B subnet there. Once we create that network, we can now go ahead and attach our Metasploitable2 Docker to that network. So we have our Docker run network pentest, right? That's the network that we just created. We're going to name this the victim, okay? And we're going to go ahead and this is going to be the victim, excuse me. And the name of the machine is Metasploitable2, and you can go ahead and pull from our Docker that we have right here, which we can see is our same as our Docker image right here for our repository. Let's go ahead and enter. And this is going to take a minute, so once this is done, I'll get back with you all. One thing of note is we can see the IP address here that the Docker is actually pulling. So we're running on 172.19.0.1 as we saw before, 19.0.1. And the Metasploitable image is running on 172.19.0.2. So you can actually ping it while it's loading up. So we can do a 172.19.0.2. We see we can actually ping it. We can run mmap and things like that while it's actually loading up. But once this loads up, we'll go ahead and we'll give it a quick test and make sure that we can actually get to the machine, get to the web page, and then we can start our lessons from there. All right, and we see that that is finished. So now we can go ahead and test it with a quick mmap. We'll just do port 80 on that 172.19.0.2. And we can see that it is open. That's good. Let's go ahead and test it out in Firefox real quick. It was 172.19.0.2. And we can see that we can get to it. So we know that our Docker is running. We know that everything's working within it. We can go ahead and we can run a full mmap scan on it. We can see that we can see everything that is running inside Metasploitable2. So if you got to this point, congratulations. Just so you know, this is within Metasploitable. So if you forget the IP address, you can always do an ifconfig, and you can see that this Docker container is on 172.19.0.2 with a net mask in the class B subrange. Hopefully you all learned something and were able to get to this point, and I will see you in the next class.